UN-backed experts have warned that more than 500,000 people in Gaza are trapped in famine marked by widespread starvation, destitution and preventable deaths. The UN is urging the international community to act quickly, reopen crossings and allow food and medicine into the enclave. For more, let's speak with Kathryn Ravey, the International Advocacy Officer at Defence for Children Palestine. She joins us now from Chicago. Really good to have you with us, Kathryn. Can we start with this Sumud flotilla that's now bound for Gaza? It's the largest to ever set sail to the enclave, comprising of over dozens of countries. It comes at a time when starvation is spreading in parts of Gaza. What do you think will happen to this flotilla, given that attempts in June and July were intercepted by Israeli authorities?
I think it's important to remember that there has been a history of flotillas arriving to Gaza to break the blockade that Israel has imposed upon Gaza for over 2 decades now. And every single time, these ships have been illegally confiscated, boarded and taken away, and sometimes even shot at. Israel has made it clear that it will not allow foreign aid to arrive on the shores of Gaza. And I think ultimately, we are seeing a fissure in what the international community will stand for and the governments that fail to enact their own legal obligations. As the Special Rapporteur has said, these people in this flotillas are taking on the responsibility of what states are meant to do and, of course, are failing to do.
Well, that's right, because a growing number of activists, but also ordinary citizens across the world are growing increasingly frustrated with what they see as inaction by their own governments in the face of overwhelming suffering in Gaza. Why do you think governments, particularly in the West, have been so reluctant and slow to even speak up about this situation?
Since the creation of international law, Palestine has always been the exception. It has always been the exception in this long line of human rights and humanitarian law upholders. Western nations, primarily the United States, has an enormous stake in seeing the success of the state of Israel and indeed its expansion. And that's both for economic reasons, military reasons, and diplomatic standings. So for the U.S., it's simply not possible for Gazans or indeed a Palestinian state to exist, and it will use its entire diplomatic and economic arsenal to prevent any sort of action. And we're seeing now the extent to which their inaction will prevail as genocide continues to act for almost 2 years now. And I think surely with this engineered starvation that Israel has put Palestinians through, and indeed Palestinian children, we are going to see the extent of this inaction and complicity in adherence to international law.
Kathryn, your organisation focuses on the plight of children in Gaza and across Palestine. Children, as we know, are the most vulnerable and helpless in this current situation. Tell us more about their plight right now and what needs to be done to help them.
We are seeing children and infants absolutely emaciated, starving to death, organ failures with absolutely no treatment to medical facilities or aid of any kind. And in fact, as the previous reporter had mentioned, even aid sites that are set up, which are essentially run by American mercenaries, protected by Israeli military, we're seeing children trying to help their families seek aid. And our organization has reports of these children being abducted and essentially disappeared by Israeli militia. Parents have searched morgues and hospitals. It seems that children are going out to seek aid and are not coming back. We are also seeing reports of children who are seeking aid be arbitrarily detained by Israeli forces, illegally taken over the border into Israel, and have reported acts of torture enacted upon them, as well as a failure of food, health, or water systems in place. It seems that Israel is indeed using every single tactic at its disposal to ensure that Palestinians and Palestinian children do not seek aid.
Okay, Kathryn Ravey, we'll have to leave it there, but the very best of luck with your work, and thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.